You're listening to According to Mike and Tony, a long-form conversational podcast hosted by singer-songwriter Tony Dollar and funny man Mike Pierce. Each week, Mike and Tony sit down with a guest to discuss music, life, the universe, and everything. And now your hosts, Mike and Tony.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of According to Mike and Tony. I am Tony Dollar, a singer-songwriter and now a podcast host. Sitting across from me, as always, is my co-host, Mike Pierce. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? It's really happening. It came to fruition. Been talking about it. It seemed like a long time, but really just a couple months.
Yeah, well, things move way faster than we thought. We thought we'd be starting to record in January.
Yeah. It seemed to go a little faster than we thought, and is actually working out pretty good. But lining up the guests, got everything set up. With us today, we have Jose Espinoza, Jose Francisco Espinoza, and I've actually known this cat since elementary school. So
we go back,
way back, yeah. But just a little background on him, ladies. Jose is a single 32-year-old. He's a PNBA professional, 100% drug-free, natural bodybuilder. So again, thanks for coming on and welcome, Jose.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. I really appreciate it. And welcome, and thank you for having me as your first guest.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. And bodybuilding is something that's cool to me. It's kind of mysterious because I haven't looked into it a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I found out you were coming on, I started looking up stuff and kind of trying to get an idea, you know, of what bodybuilding was all about. But I've definitely, like, I listen to those inspirational YouTube videos all the time. Jared always sends those to me. And it's always bodybuilding centered. It seems like it's always, like, bodybuilders they talk about and, like, the whole Arnold thing and, like, lots of his speeches spliced together and stuff. But, like, how did you get into bodybuilding?
It's a long story, actually.
Go for
it. Anyone who does bodybuilding has some sort of body dysmorphia, to be honest with you. It's just, like, something, you know, in your head. Mm-hmm. So I was always fit. I always played sports in high school, college, and soccer, things like that. Then as you get a little older, you know, you start not taking care of yourself, things like that, partying too much, drinking too much. And I was sitting at like 205, you know, in my late 20s, and I was just, you know.
Like a healthy 205?
No, not a healthy 205, like a chubby, you know.
Really? Okay.
Jabba the Hutt 205 right there. So after that, I just really started, you know, taking care of myself, things like that. And then I started working out every single day. And about 6-7 months later, I started noticing a lot of, you know, physical changes in my physique. And one day I said, let's do it. You know, I had a bunch of guys at the gym that said, you have good genetics for this. So I started dieting. And 12 weeks later, I got on stage for the very, very first time and actually won my first show.
Wow. So you won your first show.
Yeah.
What, 4 months after you decided that's you were going to
I lost about 50 pounds. Did the worst type of dieting ever.
Really?
I dieted off tilapia and vegetables for 12 weeks and did hours of cardio. And I lost like 50 pounds. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just reading off magazines, things like that, asking people, or what we call bros at the gym, advice. Like, just do this, don't drink water for the last week of your competition, you're good to go. So that's what I did, and wow. I have no idea how I won because I looked horrible, but I somehow won.
So you trained, so during that period when you started the diet, you were really strict. Did you ever eat crap, or you pretty much stuck to that?
For my first competition, basically what I did was I did what we call the bro diet. The bro diet's it's a type of diet that consists of not counting really calories, just clean eating, basically. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to be doing is eating lots of vegetables, a lot of lean meat, and lots of tilapia.
It reminds me a lot of that. Remember that Shea? Was it Shea we got that diet from? It was basically 3 meals a day, and at every meal you would eat a protein element, a vegetable element, and then a carb. And it was always like healthy carbs, like brown rice and stuff like that.
But as I got more into the sport, I finally hired a knowledgeable coach. And this guy is probably one of the best coaches in the country, I'd say, in the world. He cost me a pretty penny, but if he listens later down the road, I want to say a shout out to my coach Tyler Mayer from Team TNT, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I put him through a lot of shit myself, bitching at him and ranting and raving. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. But he was able to get me in the best physical shape that I've been this last year. But what we do now is a different type of dieting. It's called flexible dieting. And flexible dieting consists of actually counting you're knowing what you're consuming per day. So it's basically science. So throughout your competition or throughout your prep, you're going to be burning more calories than you're consuming. So you're going to be losing weight. So it's called a caloric deficit, basically. So in science or in nutrition, you count your macros, which are your protein, your fat, and your carbs. So 1 gram of fat is worth 9 calories, and 1 gram of carb and 1 gram of carbohydrate is worth 4 calories. So basically my coach will say, well, we're going to put you on 300 grams of carbs, 200 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat. And that comes out to like 2,500 calories.
Okay.
But we're doing the right combination or the right ratio of macronutrients.
And he's probably somebody who studied this.
Yeah. And as I've learned a lot as well, and now I'm coaching some people here in Colorado because everyone is so bro in Colorado, meaning they'll cut their water and do all this stuff. So basically, what we'll do is we'll diet for a very long time. And instead of 12 weeks, I'll diet for 30 to 40 weeks. And it's a long diet, but it's a diet where I can enjoy any type of food because I can fit my numbers in anything. So say, for example, I want a bowl of ice cream. I can still have a bowl of ice cream because the ice cream's like 30 carbs.
Ice cream is a weakness for me.
5 grams of fat,
Okay.
5 grams of protein. So I just weigh it out. I know exactly what I've intaked for the day. As long as I hit everything at the end of the day, I'm golden.
That's dope. Yeah, do you use, like, I have a phone.
I can even drink beer.
Yeah,
if I
that's cool.
fit it in, for example. So
You kind of have to plan
So we
ahead
just
and
cut
budget.
into his dinner essentially right
Or
now.
Wow, for
into
the
my
beer.
carbs.
I just ruined
So-
your dinner.
say I want a glass of wine, I'll count it as 20 carbs.
Gotcha. Okay.
And instead of having, a piece of sweet potato for the night, I have a glass of wine.
Okay.
with my
Because
dinner.
I remember watching one of your YouTube videos,
Mhm.
and I think that was when you got your pro card when somebody shouted out Pop-Tarts onto the
Yeah,
stage.
exactly.
And I remember
That's what
Jared,
Jared. That's the first thing he said to me. He was
when
like,
you-
he's
when
like,
he saw you at a USA Funds deal,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "This dude is a bodybuilder, and he was eating Pop-Tarts."
You eat whatever you want
Makes
as long
sense
as you
now.
can
Yeah.
fit it into your macros.
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. Damn, that's cool.
it's pretty cool.
So, my question is this, because that's something for me. I'm trying to lose some weight too, buddy.
Yeah.
And so when you were 205 and you made that decision, what do you think it was that made you able to stop the bad habits? Because once bad habits get going, they just seem to perpetuate themselves and keep going. But it sounds like you kind of just stopped cold turkey, made a decision about something.
I
and
remember
just-
the day we were up at Blackhawk. I was with tons of friends. I told everyone we were all drinking that night gambling. I was like, you guys, I'm starting Monday. I'm competing in May. No one believed me. Everyone thought I was bullshitting them. They're like, all right, man, whatever. Good luck. And then everyone showed up to the competition in May. They're like, whoa, I looked like a completely different person. But, you can see that picture right there on the left. That was me. So I looked depleted. I didn't know what the hell I was
Where
doing.
you at, Mike?
His Facebook.
So, and then that second picture was me in July.
There's a noticeable. I mean, you're just like,
Completely different. And
Boom.
the thing was, see, I had to cut my water on the left-hand picture. So I had no water in my muscles because if you think about it, your muscle is like a sponge.
Mhm.
So if you cut your water, you're going to basically make everything look flat.
okay,
So natural bodybuilding, or the right way of doing it, is to actually increase your water to fill out your muscle. So you have to diet long enough until you're actually lean and shredded. Then you just fill out for a competition.
oh, wow.
So that's
there-
kind of the last
yeah.
phase.
So there's all these different things that you see or hear in magazines. Oh, you have to manipulate your water. You have to manipulate your sodium. You have to do this and this to get ready to be on stage. Actually, you just have to diet long enough, get extremely shredded, and then just fill out for a show.
Preparation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
So
it's
when
always good to be ready weeks early before a competition instead of, trying to rush things.
Find
it's almost
yourself.
like we were talking. It's almost like a boxer.
No, it's totally. It reminds me of fighting. I mean, with cutting weight, and I've heard people talking recently. They're coming up with some new stuff as far as those guys, because they. So that's my first question. I guess, do you have a weight category at all? Or?
In natural bodybuilding, it's all classes on height. So it's a
Okay.
short class, medium class, and a tall class.
How tall are you?
I'm a little guy. I'm like 5'6" and a half, maybe 5. I'll say 5'7" on my ID.
Okay.
That's like I'm 6'2".
Yeah, so if
6'1".
girls ask how tall I am, I'm like 5'7".
We'll
Still
edit
small
that
as
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I only weigh 156 pounds on stage, so
Well, we were talking about that. It has a lot to do with body fat percentage, I think, too. I know muscle's pretty dense, but
yeah.
I mean, you can be shredded and ridiculously strong and not necessarily have a really high body weight.
Yeah.
I did think so. Mike was telling me, I think it was 175. Like, you have a different weight. You have your like stage weight, and then
Yeah.
you've got kind of what your normal weight.
My
is.
off season, like right now, I'm weighing 171 this morning, so
Gotcha.
So
And
I'm
then-
feeling good right now at this weight. So right now we're
Cool.
actually going to try to increase my calories a little bit and slowly start adding more muscle on my frame, because my plan right now is not to compete in 2015. I'm taking this year off as a extended off season to try to gain more muscle mass, because natural bodybuilding takes time. You know, like guys on the juice or on anabolic steroids, as we call, they can gain 30 pounds in months.
Yeah, and I was wondering about that because I thought it was odd. It's like interesting how you're in the PNBA. Is that the
Professional Natural Bodybuilding Association. Yes.
Oh, it's PNBA. Yeah, and I was wondering about that because I was like, it's kind of the whole concept is natural, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That makes sense. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, what does that mean about the other dude? Like, they openly.
Oh, they're
stuff,
just
or-
not tested.
Oh.
So there's a bunch of different natural organizations. The last organization I competed in wasn't the PNBA. It was the INBF or the WNBF, which is another natural organization. So what they'll do is they'll polygraph test you before, and then you get drug tested afterwards.
Wow.
So they're going to ask you, so they'll hook
That
you up
must
to a
have-
machine, basically, you know, and they'll ask you, have you ever taken anabolic steroids, things like that.
That is interesting. Mike was telling me about that. I never had heard of like a polygraph, like a lying test, basically. And then they do the drug test as well. There's no way to get around it in what you're
No.
doing. That's good.
Unless you're like a CIA guy who knows how to lie. And then you know, you can pass your piss test because it's the WADA Olympic drug test.
Yeah.
How close
Wow.
do you have to do the piss test before the competition?
The day of.
Oh,
And
really?
they'll come watch you. So
Oh wow.
just like, you know, probation or something like that, they'll come watch you pee in the cup, and then you're ready to go. So that's how, when I went pro, I was pissing maybe half an hour before I went on stage.
Oh wow. That's like super recent.
Damn, can you imagine if they ever tried to do that in boxing or something? We're going to test you 20 minutes before
No.
you fight. Yeah, right now.
There's no such thing like that in like natural boxing or something like
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's a trip, man. That's really cool. That's the right way to do it, and I think it's always going to take a long time.
And it's crazy to see, like, you, for example, we'll see Arnold Schwarzenegger, we'll see all like the big guys from back in the 80s and 70s, and you'll see where they are at now, health wise. Some of them are dead.
I know.
Some of them had triple bypass heart surgeries, things like
That's
that.
the thing it messes with a lot.
Yeah,
Huh? It's like your
down
heart.
the road.
Yeah.
Because it hardens your arteries. Steroids do. So, some of the best natural bodybuilders right now are in their 50s. For example, Marshall Johnson, the guy I competed with, and he's tearing up the scene right now. He's 54,
And he's still competing.
and he's one of the best in the world right now. So when I was talking to him, I was able to meet him in California in July. He was just telling me, you know, you could do this for a very long time and stay healthy.
Yeah,
So-
it's like it all ties together. You do it the
Mhm.
right way. It's just way better. You have a longer career, and you're obviously going to be way healthier overall. in
Yeah.
general. Damn, that's cool, man. That's really cool. It kind of inspires me. I'm kind of on a kick right now. I just sort of started up a thing where I get real motivated. That's why I was asking about the motivation thing, because I get rolling for a while, you know, and I'm like really consistent. I do gym, and I do this thing called Spartacus workout. It's like an app on my phone, but it's just a series of like, it's kind of like cardio mixed with weight stuff.
One thing I can recommend to anyone that does all these different types of exercise regimens, things like
Yeah.
that, the number one thing is your nutrition. Number one.
Jared, we were just talking about that.
I've seen so many guys at the gym come up to me and they're like, how do you get so shredded? What are you on? They're asking me. I'm like, I'm just
I
dieting.
bet you get that all the time.
I'm like, I don't take anything.
I'm on
not-
those macros.
Yeah,
I'm
on
on
my
those
macros.
vegetables.
I'm just eating. Yeah, I'm eating and hitting my numbers daily.
Yeah.
So that's all you have to do. Just track it on your phone. So I use an app called MyFitnessPal.
That's what I got that too. I don't use
So,
it.
so basically, all you got to
honest.
do is just track your macros every single day. So if you can Instagram, if you can Facebook 5 minutes out of your day, you can track your macros 5 minutes out of your day.
That's a good point.
So,
That's a really good point.
and I've had tons of people. You know, I have a client and a very good friend about to compete next week, and he is looking nuts right now. So hopefully we can get the Rocky Mountain Championship, you know, another overall victory under the belt.
How do you go to one of those? Do you sell tickets and stuff?
Yeah, they sell
or?
tickets. So if you guys want to go next week,
Definitely. You should give out the date and the time.
it's it's an NPC show. I'm not the biggest fan of NPC due to the fact that it is a non-tested organization,
Gotcha.
and they disqualified me recently for being a little too shredded for them.
Oh wow.
So
What was when like literally?
that happened in was it May? I did the Mile High Natural.
The Colorado Heights one, is that the one I went to?
No, that was
last year. I went
that
to
was
the
like
Colorado.
2 years ago
Yeah.
actually. No, I competed in a competition here. It was an NPC show, and they disqualified me for being a pro natural bodybuilder. And I'm like, okay, you guys are disqualifying me, but I'm going against all these juice kids.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, because I was in a completely different like category and concerns of like conditioning. And,
Mhm.
You're way too healthy for this deal.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, my nuts are hanging a little too low for you guys right now. You know what I mean? 'Cause these guys were all like on the juice and stuff.
So at these shows, I was asking him about this. I mean, because I was looking at your pictures, and I look at bodybuilders' pictures. What is with the tan? What is the gold spray for?
Yes.
Why do you need
The
that?
dream tan.
What
oh.
is it? Dream tan.
Well, there's different types of tans. There's the spray tan and the dream tan, but the tan basically brings out your physique a little more on stage under the lights.
Dude, it almost glistens. It's like it reminds me. What's that? The vampire movies. What the hell are they called? Where they take their shirt off and they have glistening. There's like
Your
shining
Twilight movies?
metallic
The Twilight,
oh
looking-
God,
yeah. Like it's not the same. I'm not saying.
Turn
I've
into
never
ice.
seen one of those. So,
I
me
used to
neither.
get
It was a,
dragged to see those movies
preview.
back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's what it's for. It's just so it kind of like contours and shadows and everything like that. So when
Exactly.
the lights hits off, it's a little
So you
bit
can
more.
see your cuts better. You can see your striations
Gotcha.
better.
Okay.
Because if you're pasty white, you know, you're really not going to be able to see everything unless you're in
Makes sense.
shadows. And
Okay.
things
Well, that's
like
what I was
that.
going to ask you too, because in music, lighting's always a big part of like what I do, and so I thought about that. And I was like thinking of how huge of a difference the lighting can make. Like if it's directly overhead,
Exactly.
obviously you have all kinds
Lighting
of contours
is
shown.
huge in a competition. If
Mhm.
the
Huh.
promoters do not put the right lighting on, or they put it at a bad angle and you can't see, it's going to look you're going to look washed out on stage. You're not going to be able to see your cuts, things like that.
So there are like a lot of divas when this happens. Then is there people like that light needs to be moved over there? So on and so
exactly.
forth.
They'll usually like call someone out. And
Okay.
they'll stand out front, and then they'll move the lights around until they're perfect on stage. So.
Okay.
And
See,
then,
that's your whole problem now. You just need to get a spray tan, go
then
on
just
stage
get-
and do your music.
dude, you don't want to see me under lights that
Get
show
some
the
sparkles
contours of
going.
my body. Trust me. Oh man, oh that's crazy. I was going to say, how do they decide who wins? Is there like a panel of judges? Or?
Yes, there is a panel of judges, and natural bodybuilding, even with the natural bodybuilding or the juice guys, the IFBB, things like that. What they'll do is they'll look at your conditioning, your symmetry, your proportion. It's all based off your physique. You're presenting your physique to the panel of
And
judges.
in that contest,
It's not about how big you are. It's about how aesthetic basically you are, especially
Yeah,
more
yeah.
in natural bodybuilding, because you
Gotcha.
can't get so huge in natural bodybuilding. But if you have chicken legs and you got a big upper body, you
Forget
can't
it.
you forget it. You can't win without legs.
Yeah,
In my case, I have a shitty back, so I need to work on that.
you have a shitty back, dude. I watched. This,
I have a shitty back.
How amazing! That's crazy to me because I watched that video of you. I asked Mike if it was 500 pounds. He said it was 495. I was trying to figure out how much the bar weighed.
No,
But
actually,
you did
500. I had
It
a
was-
little,
It was so
yeah.
that deadlift you do in that
Man.
video. That's 500 pounds.
Yeah, 500 pounds.
That's a half a ton, dude.
It's three times of a body weight now.
Fuck a carjack, buddy. Can you lift my car? If I got to do some work.
It takes time though, and
wow.
believe me, your body goes through a lot. I've been going through a lot of injuries, been dealing with a lot of back problems, but
So what's the most common injury then on a natural, like just on a bodybuilder in general?
sore muscles,
Okay.
joints, things like that, wear and tear.
You ever
'Cause
had,
you're at the gym every single day. You're putting up tons of weight, so you got to be smart. You have to warm up. You have to do a lot of mobility exercises, things like that.
Okay.
do you stretch before you work out?
Yes, you have to. Stretch.
I've heard mixed things, and maybe it's just
and I use a foam roller. One of the best things I've
I
been doing
just got
recently.
one of those. So great.
Yeah, it hurts like hell, but it's worth it. And then if you have time, see massage therapists every once in a while, just
Okay.
to,
Gotcha. That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
but
So,
it's
like-
a pain. It hurts like hell.
So you do a lot of the weightlifting. Do you do any of that CrossFit stuff? Does that
hell
do
no.
anything?
I can't stand CrossFit hippies, man. That's what I call them.
Hippies.
Somebody had recently posted on, and I was cracking up, and it was like a meme, and it was from the Down and Out, which Kenny Powers,
Yeah.
and it had a meme and under it says CrossFit. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising.
Joe Rogan's got that thing. He always says that, like you
CrossFit's basically an easy way to snap your shit up really, really fast. Basically, what they'll do is they'll try to do a lot of different Olympic lifts, in really, really fast, high interval sessions, things
Yeah.
like that. And they'll do it to the general public. So they'll be grabbing all these people that are out of shape, that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're like, all right, let's do deadlifts, let's do this, this, and this, and it's one of the easiest ways to get injured. I see so many people getting injured doing CrossFit. And then on top of it, there's all these people that don't even know how to properly lift that are teaching these CrossFit classes.
So their form on top of it is putting them in a
Yep.
compromised position.
So you just see a lot of people get injured in the sport of CrossFit. And I'm not a big fan of it. On top of it, they promote bad nutrition, the whole paleo diet, which I don't agree.
Do you know much about? I've heard this paleo thing tossed around, but I don't really
Because
even
paleo
know.
diet's what we call the caveman diet. So it's
Yeah,
an old
right.
school
Meat,
diet.
right?
There's no processed food, none of this, This really hippie fad thing going on right now. So you're only going to be eating, berries, meat, fat, eggs, things like that.
Stuff that was available in the
Back
somebody
in the
should tell those
caveman and
guys
the
that
primitive
we've-
days.
things have
So I'm
changed.
like, well, I want a bowl of ice cream. No, you can't eat that in their caveman diet. Or I want a Pop-Tart. Oh, no, you can't eat that. Things like that. So something I really don't agree upon. You're really not counting your calories. So you really don't know what you're consuming. You really don't know the amount of the calorie expenditure that you're doing.
yeah.
So I'm more on towards the scientific approach.
Okay.
So we actually I know exactly how many calories I'm consuming per day and how many calories I've burned every single day. So I know the caloric deficit. Usually I'm about 500 calories. 500 calories times 7 is 3,500. It's a pound of body fat per week.
Damn, that's very scientific, very mathematical, and
So
Exact.
once I start hitting plateaus,
Mhm.
things like that, then my coach will adjust my macronutrients
Okay.
accordingly, so I can start dropping more. And then another thing that we see all these days are what they call the YOLO diets. That's what I call them.
you only live once. Is that
Yeah.
the deal?
All these damn juicing diets, all
Shakeology,
these
stuff
all
like
that
that.
bullshit
You've
I
seen
see
this before?
all the time, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Drink my Isoflex. Oh, I shouldn't use that word because no, but drink
You
this.
just got us kicked off.
Yeah, drink this shake or do this specific thing. Do this detox, and you'll lose 30 pounds. Okay, so if you starve yourself basically for 3 weeks, you're basically gonna lose weight because you're on a caloric deficit.
Mhm.
But on top of that, you're going to destroy your metabolism because that's what's going on with half of the society right now. People aren't eating enough food, so their metabolisms are so shot.
Eating enough nutrients, probably
Yep.
eating more than enough.
So they're not eating enough. So once they're done with their little YOLO diet for their 4 weeks, they've lost 30 pounds. But they eat 500 calories and they'll skyrocket. Their weight will go back up.
Yeah, everybody's looking for a quick fix.
Yep.
In everything, but particularly in health too. You always hear that people are always trying to get the quickest thing. And I thought it was interesting when you said that as part of the natural bodybuilding thing is that it takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes a lot of work over time.
And there's ways to increase your metabolism afterwards. So after a long diet, for example, diet 40 weeks, then what we'll do is we'll call, after we're done competing, we'll have a reverse diet. It's a little different. We're slowly increasing our food little by little because after a long period of time of dieting, your metabolism is going to slow down. So you need to bring it back up to healthy level. So what you're going to do is slowly bring up your carbohydrates, bring up your food little by little to the point that after 6 months of reverse dieting, you're going to be able to eat 700-800 carbs, or not that high, but maybe 500-600 carbs if you have a healthy metabolism. and you could stay lean and be able to, eat about 3,000 calories a day and still stay pretty lean because your metabolism is extremely high.
Okay.
So that's why people ask me, how can you diet on over 300 grams of carbs and still lose weight? Because I have a healthy metabolism. And that's the number one thing that I preach, and a lot of us natural guys do, is we preach metabolism as your number one thing, your health.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, too, that you said the nutrition is sort of like the basic starting point.
Exactly. And then you can drink beer on the off season and enjoy life. So.
Yeah, no doubt.
I
man.
love to.
The extended off season you have now.
My extended off season, yeah, because I'm a big beer guy. I like a lot of craft beers. So.
Do you? What's your favorite beer?
Right now, man, I've been trying this new beer from Oregon. So it's called the Longevity. Have you heard it?
Yep.
I haven't.
Yep.
It's an IPA
Mhm.
from Oregon, and my uncle actually introduced it to me like 2 weeks ago. And it's one of my favorite IPAs. I like, stouts, IPAs, things like that.
Nice.
So
I had that at the Beau Schmoes up in Fort Collins Pizza Place. They had the Longevity up there, and it's IPA. IPA are higher content of alcohol too. It's an Indian Pale Ale is what the IPA stands for.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're delicious.
Yeah,
It stands
is
for
delicious.
delicious.
Another one I like the Breckenridge.
Breckenridge Brewery.
With
Yeah, they have some pretty decent beers.
good IPAs over there too.
Gotcha. Nice. Blue Moon is about as high class as I usually get. I'm not gonna lie.
Champagne, of course.
Champagne, of course.
Have you been down to the brewery before?
Yeah, I have. I haven't been there in a while, but I actually went down to their train one time, and it was pretty cool because they actually have a bar right there, so you can actually have a beer and train at the same time.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
Wow, that's pretty cool.
that's the last time I actually went there. I was invited to go train down there. So
Who invited you to go to train down there?
I have two buddies that actually work there.
Okay.
So they were able to get me and invited me to go up there.
Now, being a pro, obviously there's being that pro. Sponsorships. Do you have sponsorships? You're a pro?
Yes, I'm actually sponsored by Complete Nutrition.
Oh wow.
They are a supplement company, and lucky enough to get a lot of free supplements from them. I have a pretty cool poster in the store. So Complete Nutrition Centennial down on Parker and Arapahoe.
Parker and Arapahoe. So any ladies listening, go check it out. You can see Jose up there.
You're gonna get
And
this
my
guy
skippies.
destroyed by people,
So,
by
yeah.
girls.
And I have a lot of clients that go there as well, and they have great supplements too.
Okay.
So
Cool.
So, like I tell my my sponsor, I told him it's not the supplements, it's nutrition. That's your number one thing. A supplement will only help a little bit.
Okay.
I'd say 5 to 10% if you have your nutrition on point. Because you see all these things that, this miracle pill will do this and this. Not number one is nutrition, number 2 is training, and then number 3 is the supplements.
So what do you take as far as the supplements?
Supplements, protein. I enjoy eating, so I'd rather get my protein intake from food over a shake. Creatine. Creatine's natural. You can take that. My branch chain amino acids.
What's that mean? Branch chain amino acids.
So protein, it's the building block. So your branch chain amino acids. So basically, if you break down a protein, there's different pieces to the protein. So not the biggest,
Right? Because you can get different kinds of protein, like different kinds of meat and stuff like that, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just a branch chain. It's just like the breakdown. It's like you don't know how the hell to explain it, but basically, it is part of protein. So I'll take that when I'm cutting. So when I'm losing weight, I want to try to maintain as much muscle mass as possible. So I'll be sipping on that before and after I train.
Oh, that helps you not lose muscle mass when you're
because you are dieting, so you will lose a little bit of muscle at the same time as fat. So you want to always try to preserve as much muscle mass as possible.
Cool.
Getting scientific here.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. And I think that's kind of like the whole approach that you guys are doing. And now, what you're describing and stuff, as far as like mapping all this stuff, is that kind of across the board with natural bodybuilders?
No, it's actually now it's becoming counting your macros or your macronutrients it's basically the same with the big guys and us little guys.
Gotcha.
Except us little guys, we like to have sweets, have processed foods, things like that. They have that big saying that, oh, you can't have processed foods, GMOs, all this stuff.
There's all this.
All that hippie nonsense that I always say. It's all that hippie bullshit. But I will always eat whatever the hell I want as long as I hit my macros, especially when I'm dieting. So I can even go out and eat. I'll have pizza. I'll have whatever I want.
See, that's the way to go. And I think
I can still enjoy life.
Dude, I think that's my problem, and maybe that's something I need to look at doing, because I don't know what you kind of do.
I enjoy life.
Well, I know.
Eats and eats and eats. I haven't been at the gym for 2 months with this whole job transition.
I go through these phases where I'm really dedicated for a while, and I'll put on a lot of muscle mass, and I'll actually lose weight overall and get my body fat down. And then it's just like I have this cracking point. It's like this downward spiral. You start with I ate a slice of cake or something like that. And before you know it, it's out of control. And I think maybe that's the thing, is because when you completely cut yourself off, you're just sort of bound for failure, or you're a really anal dedicated guy that does not enjoy life at all.
Well, the thing about counting your macros is you can diet for a really, really long time, but you can still enjoy food. You can still enjoy the foods you eat, you like, for example.
And that probably helps you to be able to do it for
it keeps
a long
you
period
sane.
of time. Yeah. I'm sure.
If I had to eat tilapia and asparagus for
like your first year.
Yeah, my first year, I'd go nuts. I would lose it. I would cheat. I would say, screw this, fuck this. I'm going to go and have a shake. I'm going to go have a triple cheeseburger, things like that. But no, as long as I can, have my sweets throughout the day, and I'm not just eating crap all day. So I'll have about 85% of nutritious food throughout the day, and then the night I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream, to fit my sweet tooth, things like that, and then boom, hit my numbers, and every day I'm losing weight.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's a great way of dieting.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ways to be successful. Damn, that's cool.
And I can have whatever I want. Everyone at work thinks I'm still nuts, but
everyone thinks you're what?
I'm crazy. They're like, Jesus,
yeah.
How can you do this for such a long period of time? How can you, things like that. But it's, it's a passion of mine. It will always be a passion of mine. And it's a lifestyle. So you'll get used to it after time.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that too, like the training side of things. Mike was saying you literally work out every day, pretty much.
Not every day. I train 5-6 days a week.
Holy shit!
So today I decided to be a bum and take the day off.
So what's up with the whole like you need to take days off in between for muscle recovery? Is that if you're not moving from group to group?
Yeah, you do. You always have to recover. You always have to get enough sleep. You have to let your muscles, recover. So I'm not going to be training the same body part every single day. Right. So I'm on my split. So one day I'll do legs, one day I'll do, my back, my biceps, and then chest and tries, shoulders, things like that. Gotcha. And then every, third, fourth day I'll hit the muscle group again.
Gotcha. Do you work out at like a major gym, or don't give out the place, please?
Yeah, I work out at a major gym, unfortunately. But down the road, if I could, I wouldn't mind trying to open up my own gym down the road. Right now I'm building
already. Yeah.
I started my own natural bodybuilding team here in Colorado. We're called Team Meta Physique. So I got about 16 clients right now. We're doing pretty well.
You have a website?
No, not yet. I just started my team officially started my team about 3 weeks ago.
Damn, that's cool. Do you have a Facebook at all?
Yeah, I haven't started a Facebook page or anything, but my clients are kicking ass right now, and we're making all the bros look like shit, to be honest. So my last two clients took first and second at the Colorado Natural, and my good friend took the whole show, won the overall, and then he's competing next week at the Rocky Mountain, and that's the show against the big guys.
What's your show next week? It's
called
date?
The NPC Rocky Mountain Championships, or the Rocky, aka the Rocky, and that is on November 15th at the School of Mines Auditorium. It's a huge show. There's going to be about 400 competitors there.
How can people get tickets?
I believe it's jefftaylor.com.
Okay. And if you find out it's something else, just let us know. We'll put it on the website.
Or you can just go there and get tickets.
Yeah, we put that on our site too, and make sure Facebook and everything has that on there too. So get people going to that. So how many people do you have at that show for your?
Right now I only have two. I have a women's bikini competitor.
Okay.
And then I have a men's physique competitor.
So, and what services do you provide for them? Like, what do you do?
Basically what I do is I'm their nutritionist for their prep,
Cool.
and I set up their peak week. So I'm going to be telling them exactly their macros for their entire prep, what they have to hit, what they have to train. Also tell them training, put them on a training regimen, things like that. And every week we get together and we go over everything.
So is it kind of similar like a coach, like what your coach
I'm
does for
basically
you?
their coach. Yeah,
Dope,
exactly.
Man, that's cool.
So
That's way cool.
because coaching is very expensive, and as you get into the higher, you know, the pro level status, you're going to be spending a good amount of money on a coach. So I'm a little cheaper here in Colorado
Okay.
compared to some of the other big guys that charge a lot of money and put them on a meal plan. Just have tilapia and asparagus for the next 6 weeks.
I can Google that.
Like, Google that shit. Yeah, exactly.
So you have regular day job then.
Yes.
Are you trying to phase that out? Maybe like take this as your whole career. You're like going to be the bodybuilder, the coach, so on and so forth. Or is that
Right
just-
now, my day job's going pretty well, but maybe down the road we'll see.
Okay.
Just depends on how I do these next few years in the sport. Like I said, I'm taking the year off, and then in 2016, my plan is to return and do the biggest shows in the world. So my plan is to do the Natural Olympia in 2016, qualify and compete, and do the World Championships in 2016.
Damn, that's cool. How do you qualify? Is it the same as a competition, basically? Or?
You have to go to specific shows and take top 5, something like that usually, and then you can compete in the biggest shows in the world. So that's my plan. I want to become one of the best lightweight bodybuilders. In the
I kind of
sport.
think if you're winning those sorts of competitions, the day job will naturally phase out.
So that's my goal. That's what my goal is before I turn 40. Become one of the best.
And you're 32?
32 right now.
Okay,
So
cool.
best lightweight, or one of the best lightweight bodybuilders in the sport.
Just say it, man. You're going to be the best.
I hope, man. There's some crazy guys that I see on stage. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got to go up against these guys. No, but that's my goal.
Well, I don't know who the dude is. Like I think it's the background picture or whatever on your Facebook. I don't know who the dude is standing next to you is, but you're pulling him out of the water, dude. You got
beat me,
veins.
actually. Yeah, Jeff.
How does that work?
He had a really good back, and he was dense. He was just big muscle, full belly. So
Huh.
I have a shitty back. That's my weak point right now, is to get my back thickness up.
How much of that do you think is your regimen, and how much is just sort of genetic?
A lot has to do with genetics, to be honest, naturally. But if you bust your ass, you can build
Make
your
up for the
physique.
deficit or whatever.
Mhm. Man, I come
Dude,
from
do
little.
you know what picture I'm talking about, Mike?
right there.
Yeah, do you have
The
it
one
up?
on his cover page.
Dude,
yeah.
he's got veins coming out of veins I didn't know you had in your body. It's ridiculous. And
I
that
think
guy
he,
won.
I think he calls it alien form. Is that what you say? What do you
Alien
call it?
shredded,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's that thing
The
Joe
final
Rogan said?
form.
That buddy that he said he had garden hoses.
As
but that dude
veins,
was
yeah.
juiced up. He was juiced up for real, but he had like
I was
gigantic.
actually having pizza backstage to get that pump.
Nah, this is where you learn the real secrets.
It's the real secrets about it.
Pizza
right on the
and
show.
beer.
Yep.
A little whiskey in there.
I actually cheated really bad and almost decided to quit before this show. It was that show was
What?
July 13th, I think. July 4th. I'd been dieting for 6 months, and I
Done.
was tired. Called a buddy of mine, hey, let's go watch fireworks at the baseball game.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah. So we went, and I was like, I'm only gonna have one glass of wine, and I'm gonna hit my numbers all day. And I ended up just cheating horribly. One glass of wine ended up to having 5-6 beers, nachos. I don't even know what else we ate.
Sounds like a Thursday night for me.
I woke up like 6 pounds heavy,
Oh wow.
Oh man.
and I remember that next day I just ran like 4 or 5 miles, hungover. I was like, screw this.
Sweating alcohol.
Sweated out the booze, and I was back down.
At
in
what
2
point
days.
were you thinking about throwing in the towel and giving it up?
I was just
Before that, or
well,
like
once you get to a certain point of lean, so once you're down to like 4% body fat, your body's fighting against you.
dude?
You have veins on your ass. Your libido's completely shot.
Uh-huh.
Because you have no fat on your body, because fat regulates your hormone levels in the male
Huh.
physique. So,
I
Wow.
didn't know that.
so when you're dieting on really, really low fat, after a while you're just gonna feel like shit. And so I think it was like around late June, early July, I kept having little cheats here and there, and I was tired. I couldn't sleep. Your body's just running ragged. You have no energy because you have no fat. So once you run out of food for fuel, you have no fat for fuel reserves. So that's when you go what they call the twilight zone. In the cloud vision, you're just exhausted. You have no energy. You can't get out of bed. You don't enjoy life. So at that point in time, I was like telling my coach, I don't know if I want to continue. And he just kept telling me, we got to push, and we did, and we finally got there. So that's why I called my team name Team Meta, which means mental.
Okay.
It's the mental sport.
Yep.
Because it's not about how much weight you can push, how much you can do here and there. It's about mentally, how far can you push your body?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's the way I thought of it.
Nice.
And that's the guys that are really good in the sport. They're able to diet for a really long time. Or
Well,
the guys naturally, at least.
All those inspirational YouTube videos I watch that are pretty much bodybuilder centered. That's what kind of always the thing. It's always mental strength. I mean, your body, that obviously is a huge part of it. You have to do that, but without that mental strength, you'll never get through it.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So when you're prepping, when you're doing weightlifting and all that stuff, you're at the gym, you obviously have a routine. Now, does that routine include music? Is there a certain music that you listen to? Do you get set?
We got to go
up?
there.
We got to go there.
And I listen to a bunch of like hip hop.
Okay.
Do you?
So this last prep, I was listening to a lot of old school, like Method Man, stuff like that. 'Cause that's what I'm from Aurora. So
Yeah.
we're from the hood, so we'll call it the hood. So
Saudi Aurora.
Saudi. Exactly. So I like a lot of old school hip hop, the stuff we grew up on. Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Far Side. I was listening to a lot of that stuff. That's stuff I still listen to these days.
What do you use? I'm always curious about that. Do you is it Spotify or something you just download it to your phone?
Sometimes I'll just put Pandora on, put some old school stuff on, and it'll just play.
Yeah.
I'll put Tribe Called Quest, and it'll play some good
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
That's the type of music I enjoy listening
Okay.
to.
And is it before a show? Is there something that you pump up to or anything like that? Or do
Not
you get
really.
to choose your music or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I actually came out to. Who did I come out to?
So they play a song when you come out on stage?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, my last. Thinking of the name off the top of my head, I don't even remember. It wasn't Gangstar. It was another old school hip hop guy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's stuff I like to come out to. So.
What's the most ridiculous song that you've heard somebody come out to before? Like you were just like, you chose that song?
Like, really?
Some opera. They're trying to be all artistic.
Have you seriously heard somebody come out to opera?
Yeah, some guys are trying to be all artistic and all artsy. I don't like that. I just came out to hip hop, started pop locking and flexing. So.
Okay.
We'll mix a little pop locking in there.
Just go on the whim. I don't even set mine up.
Yeah.
So with the poses, are there like set poses? They tell you
Yeah,
to
seems
pose
like
a
it.
certain way? You have to,
Yeah, there's your
their name calling or
There's
whatever?
your mandatory poses
Okay.
in bodybuilding. So they're going to hit your front relax, your side chest, your side tricep, your rear lat spread, your double back bicep, and your front double bicep, and your front lat spread. So what they're going to do is they're going to turn you around 360, and you're going to look at every single body part on your physique. And they're going to call it out, and you have to flex it. And they're going to compare you against every other person.
Okay.
So that's how it basically works.
And then like when the show that I was at, I think at some point in time they just said, just kind of do your own thing.
Yeah,
essentially,
right.
It's
I
a
saw that
pose
too.
down. At the end, it's
Yeah.
just a free for all. You just go have fun. They'll put music on, and you just go off and show off.
Do you think that has a big impact, or is it pretty much they've already made
No,
their
prejudging in
decisions?
the morning. There's two shows. It's a morning show and a night show.
Mm.
Prejudging is where they decide who's going to win.
And then the other one-
99% of the time.
and the one in the evening is just for spectators.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The one in nights when you just go and have fun. You get on stage.
That's nice
You
because
have all
then-
the people screaming, drinking beer, just having a good time.
right, and I bet you the tension's off at that point because
Yeah.
decision's already made. Now, do
So
you
if you
know the
know-
decision before?
No, you do not. But if you know, if you come in and you cleaned house, you could tell. Or if it's a close call, it could go up to the night show.
Uh-huh.
And they sometimes do that. So if there's two competitors that are really close to each other, they'll see what they look like at night.
So sometimes the decision will
yeah,
end up being made at night.
things like
I
that.
wonder if they've ever reversed it. Somebody just went buck wild during the day.
That's
that day.
happened before. Some guys
Really?
like they look really good in the morning, and then they're like, screw this, and they'll go eat a bunch of shit. And they look horrible at night. So
It's amazing how fast that can happen, huh?
yeah, if you eat the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
Man,
you
now,
gotta-
when you went pro, when you finally got that card,
Finally, yeah.
How surreal was that? Like, what was going through your mind when they like announced it to you?
Oh, I broke
What
down.
was the situation? What was the situation?
I cried like a little baby.
Dude, I've seen a lot of the bodybuilders. I see that happens. I mean, that's got to
because
be
you kick your ass. Like it's
so much
it's a
work.
mental goal. It's like a life goal that you want to do, and you wake up every morning saying, it's game time. You got to go train. Hit your nutrition, and you bust your ass every single day. And so you do it for 9 months. And when they finally said you went pro, that was my goal. It was the most surreal experience I've ever had in my life.
Dude.
Like, can you describe that? Like on that YouTube video that you had there, I think it was like split up, like you and another dude, right?
Yeah.
How would that go?
It was I really had like no expressions. I remember like after I got off stage, my mom was crying. She was hugging and holding me, and and my ex-girlfriend was there. Everyone was there, and it was an amazing experience. Like everyone had known how much you had put into it, and finally going pro was like the cream, the cream of the crop. You can finally say I'm a pro bodybuilder.
Sort of validated, kind of.
Yeah, and you always have the people at the beginning that said you can never do it, you'll never be able to do it. You sort of put the naysayers, the haters. Haters will always hate, but you'll always, it was crazy. It was like one of the best experiences in my life. And now my next goal is to, become one of the best. So
Yeah, and you're taking a full year to do that. That's crazy.
So that's the goal. So coming up from Century, we're gonna be up there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to go to that show next week. What is it?
Yeah, if you guys are more than welcome to. And then afterwards, we're all gonna go to Yard House, go grab some food with all.
I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of food.
Some beer.
And beer, I'm there. Okay.
And it's gonna be better than Blue Moon, Tony.
They're gonna have.
I'm not opposed to drinking better beers. I'm just lazy and cheap. That's what happens.
It should be fun.
Nice. And Mike was telling me, actually, you were born in Nicaragua, yeah?
Yes, I was born in Managua, Nicaragua, back in, was it the 80s when we grew up, when we were born? And then I moved here when I was 3 years old. I've lived here my entire life, basically.
Yeah, totally American.
But Mike and I, where did we meet? We met at Century. Was
Elementary.
it the kindergarten?
Damn.
Or
Was that Aurora?
It's like third grade. We met in third grade. Yeah, in
Is that Aurora?
Yep.
Okay.
This guy was a troublemaker back in the day.
He's a troublemaker
Man,
now.
we had wall ball teams, we had foursquare teams.
Yeah.
It was a breakdown, and
Basketball.
like I said, I knew him for so long. Yeah, I played against him in basketball through middle school, through high school even.
So it's like during that time, you said you were kind of always in shape. So even when you were younger and stuff, and probably not elementary school.
I wasn't buff. I was just like a skinny kid who just liked to,
think we're all skinny
we're all
kids.
skinny. And
Yeah, dude, we were all skinny at that age.
You just like to play sports and be.
Yeah.
No,
You play football too, right?
No, I never played football. I played
Oh, okay.
soccer.
Really?
Soccer and
Okay.
baseball. Those were my two sports.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I remember again the phrase that always sticks in my head when I ever think of him is the phrase whenever you would laugh, it'd be like wakala.
Wakala.
Oh
What
my
is
god, that is so old.
You just pulled out some old shit. What is that? What are you talking about?
That's some like
Wakala?
1980s stuff right there. I don't even really remember that, but yeah,
You
that
got
was,
him blushing over here. I don't even know
that
what
was
it
that was
means.
my word back in the day when I was a little kid. I just get
Okay.
crazy. I was always a spaz. To this day, I still am a spaz. So
I think a lot of people that are successful at stuff like that, bodybuilding and stuff, kind of have that characteristic, that ability to be able to be a little. You got to be a little bit crazy to want to be a bodybuilder, I think.
I am pretty crazy. believe
Yeah.
me.
Not a lot of extroverts, not a whole lot of introverts that are probably bodybuilders. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, getting up
Not
there.
a whole
and-
bunch of people like, don't talk to me.
Well.
Don't talk to me. I'm just weightlifting here.
I'm actually a pretty shy guy when it comes to like the whole girls type thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm the type of guy that
You got the slow game. It's called slow game.
slow
buddy.
game is that what we
It's
call
called
it.
slow game. You work your way up.
I like to get introduced to women. I'm
Yes,
not the
there
type of
you
guy
go.
that just goes up to them like, "Yo."
Just like natural bodybuilding.
It's like
naturally meeting people.
You're naturally.
I don't have the cheesy pickup lines, things like that. So.
That's good, man.
That's
You're a
what-
genuine dude. That's not. a
I'm
bad
the
thing.
slow game guy. I'm the slow game guy. I work my way in there. I just work it in.
Dude,
there
I'm the
and-
same way. I told you how long it took me to get Myra. It was
Yeah.
It was like a decade of dedication.
You just got to take that dedication now, flip it around, and now you
put
can
it
be a
into-
bodybuilder. Yeah.
I don't know. Let's not get carried away, okay? I'll start by getting my BMI healthy. We'll start there and think about bodybuilding
I've
later.
heard that BMI though is a joke
It can be, right?
because I think like for
Your
example,
body mass index.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's like can be a joke because like I remember testing one time and my BMI was like something
BMI
like
is-
30, And,
BMI
and it said 30 was over obese.
I'm
30 was
ob-
obese.
I'm technically
obese.
right on the border.
I'm technically obese. That's what they say.
Dude, Jared
Yeah.
was saying the same thing. He did that fit test at work, and
Yeah.
it came back the same way. He's in pretty good shape too.
And those if you ever go to the gym and you have those little things
Yep.
those things are off. I remember I was like in that picture, I was like a week out,
Uh-huh.
and I grabbed one of those things and I said I was like at 12% body fat. You got to be kidding me.
No way. Jared
Yeah.
said he tested it at, I think he said 11% or something like that, and he's saying he's super out of shape right now.
Yeah, those things don't work.
Huh.
They're not accurate. So
Well, I'm glad to hear the BMI is a bunch of crap
yeah,
because
that's a bunch of
I knew
bullshit.
I was in shape.
That's some other hippie stuff right
this
there.
whole time.
this whole
This whole
time.
time. Who'd have known that Mike Pierce at 6'3", 240 pounds is a healthy guy.
Super healthy. Oh man. And you snowboard too, yeah? Are you
yeah,
into
I love the outdoors. So I've been snowboarding since I was like 5th or 4th grade.
Me and Myra have talked about doing it. We were gonna go with Heather and them one time. I want to snowboard really bad, but I have this fear because at one point in my life I broke both my wrists, and I'm scared shitless because if I break my wrist, I can't play the guitar and I can't perform. I can't do anything. So I've been really nervous, but it looks
They
so
sell wrist
fun.
wrist supports when you're snowboarding as well. So if you do fall, you actually have extra wrists.
Like the
It would
old,
actually stop you from like breaking your
Yeah.
wrist.
like the old school rollerblade things.
Exactly, they sell those with a little thing right there.
Dude, that's what I was picturing in my head, and I was like,
You
"Why do I
put
feel
them
like
in
I
your
know
glove.
about
They're
this?"
made for your glove. So if you
Ah.
fall, you have that extra.
Support.
Because I used to be a rollerblader back in my day. You
Me
remember that?
too.
I was a good rollerblader back in my
All
day.
of that, dude.
Nice.
I was able to grind rails and do
Yep.
540s on
Okay,
the
I wasn't a
half pipes and
rollerblader.
stuff like that.
Never mind.
Yeah. So back in the day, we were on ESPN. Like, what was that? 1996 or 97.
Yeah.
I was on ESPN
For rollerblading?
rollerblading. Back
They
when
really
rollerblading
don't
was
cover
big.
that anymore, do they?
When rollerblading was cool, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's too bad. Why is it not cool anymore? It has
I don't know,
faded
it's-
out.
Skateboarders beat us up. I don't remember that. Was,
Yeah, that's probably true.
I remember that.
Rob
You
did
guys
it.
can't come to our park when we were kids and stuff like that.
It was like a real.
Yeah. I'm not a snowboarder. I'll go ahead and admit that. I went twice in my whole entire life. And I
You're
think
from
the reason-
Colorado, though.
I'm from Colorado, dude.
Yeah.
I don't like snowboarding because you know why? I think it's because the person who taught me how to do it gave me bad shit to do. And so the person I went with is I'm 6'3", okay?
That's already a
person-
bad start. For
The person,
snowboarding, I
yeah,
think.
again, my center of gravity's up here. So it's already a bad start. But the guy I went with, a buddy of mine, Leroy, back in the day, he was probably about 5'6", 5'7" as well. And he was like, dude, came up to me at work. He goes, nobody wants to go snowboarding with me. Do you have tomorrow off? I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay. You want to go snowboarding with me? I'm like, I've never been. It's easy. It's easy.
That's
He's like-
always a bad
he goes,
sign.
I got equipment for you. He goes, I got a snowboard. I got an extra snowboard. Got some helmet. I got goggles. I got everything for you. I'm like, cool, right on, dude.
Do you have a first aid kit?
I was like, okay, cool. And so he was like, you got any, you got a snowboarding? You got some pants or anything? I'm like, I don't go snowboarding. I don't need pants. He goes, okay, bring over some jeans, dude. Bring over some jeans tonight. And, to my party. He had a party that night. He goes, bring over some jeans and we'll get you taken care of. I was like, okay, cool. So we got some jeans. Partied, right? Anyways, partied, had a great time, passed out. Next morning, woke up, and he goes, all right, let's go. Let's go, man. We're going to go snowboarding. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going to go to Copper Mountain. I'm like, all right, cool, dude. He goes, your jeans are in the bathroom. They're in the bathroom, hanging up. I'm like, cool. So I went into the bathroom, and he scotch guarded my jeans, like head to toe. So these jeans were stiff as rocks. So essentially waterproof, we'll just say, right? Put them on, go up there, and he goes, all right, my snowboarding lesson, you guys, was on the way to Copper Mountain.
Jesus.
All right, so here's how it goes. You face towards the mountain. In order to stop, lean forward.
You're good to
He
go.
goes, you're facing away from the mountain, lean backwards. You'll cut through the snow, slow down, stop. I was like, oh, shit, that's all it is? That's going to be easy. Yeah, I went up there and went through the first time, fell down, bam, 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 fell. We did 5 runs. 5th run. And, I didn't, and at the time, I didn't know, I'm just, in my early 20s. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. 5th run, I was like, I got this shit, dude. I'm a fucking
So you had gone a few runs without falling.
No. Every single
Okay.
run was falling. But
Okay.
this time I was like, you know what? I got this, dude. I think my problem is speed. I'm going too slow. I go, and I'm like, going by. I pass Leroy. going down. I'm like, oh man, maybe I am going too
I
fast.
shouldn't be passing him.
And so I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, oh, face away from the mountain. So face towards the mountain. Lean forward, cut in. Leaning forward. Chunk of ice, something. Backwards. Airborne. Bam! Straight on my back.
So what happened to your jeans?
Luckily, they protected his legs from breaking.
He goes, yo, you were gone. Then all of a sudden, I see the bottom of your board, bro, in midair. That's all I saw. I was like, damn. And I was like sitting there like, the air is out of me. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, oh my God, I still can't breathe. And he goes, yeah, a fucking yard sale going on here, bud.
Shit's
And I was
everywhere.
like, what?
Gloves
He goes, you got a glove over there. You got your helmets over there. I don't know how your helmet came off and your goggles. And so got down. I had to like sit on my board and like kind of shimmy my way down the whole mountain and everything like that. I was dead. So now, from now on,
I was going to say, how many times have you been since then?
0.
That's what I thought.
And so now,
But what happened to your jeans? The most important thing.
they actually held up, you guys. They actually really held up.
They're hanging on the wall now. Trophy.
Yeah. So no, that's my snowboarding. That's why I don't go snowboarding. I will go to the lodge and hang out with you guys, have a few beers, maybe tell some stories.
Yeah, I was going to say, snowboarders party
just,
mode. That part's cool.
Just got done doing a couple of runs here. Oh, yeah, where at? That one over there.
You just sit there and talk to
Damn.
girls.
Yeah, right?
That's a good way.
Oh, my God, Mike. That's intense.
That's why I don't snowboard.
See, he's not helping me to, like, go make the decision to go
Maybe you should go
snowboarding.
maybe you should go with him.
Yeah, this guy seems...
Don't go with me.
Yeah, he likes the healthy approach to life, I think. So we'll be like...
I'll be at the bar after a long day of snowboarding, hanging out. So.
Do you go a lot? You can hit up there a lot?
This year I plan on going a lot. Actually,
You're off season now.
that's my off season. Yeah, so,
Perfect.
I'm actually thinking about getting a pass, going up there a lot.
Damn, that's cool. That is cool. I think we're getting close. We're coming up. When you hear the music, it's time we got to wrap it up. I think we got like 4 minutes left or something like that.
It went by quick.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask him, Mike? I felt like there was...
No, I mean, kind of gone over things. Maybe like some current events, like this whole A-Rod thing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Because with the whole...
I haven't been watching too much current events that much,
What
to be honest.
happened with A-Rod? The whole...
Recently or the whole drug
Recently.
scandal?
Recently.
The whole drug thing. Like, so, A-Rod was like, I didn't do drugs.
He held that line for a long time.
Forever, because he's been suspended for over a season and a half is what the MLB came down on him. And so this kind of ties in with the drug testing and everything like that with bodybuilding, that kind of thing. But he recently, this week, the DEA came out saying that A-Rod finally admitted
That he used.
Did he use drugs?
Did they say what he did? I didn't actually look at the details.
At one point in time, like in the details as we can read it on there, one point in time, this man was juicing up so much, he was at a nightclub and shot himself in the stomach.
Jesus Christ.
With some stuff.
Wow.
That's the roids, the HGH. He was doing it all, and he was just doing
Mark
it.
McGuire stuff.
Yeah, Mark McGuire. And he was just, he did that whole thing of, I didn't do it.
Why don't they get polygraphed like we do?
That's a good point. Why don't...
Something makes me wonder if they want that shit in sports, because it seems like this stuff is preventable. You can stop people from doing this. Look at your situation, dude. I mean, you're taking a polygraph, you're taking drug tests. You're taking drug tests, what, half an hour you said before the...
Yeah.
Can you imagine the shitstorm if baseball players had to pee 30 minutes before a game?
Every game. That
Dude,
wouldn't
I
be
know.
that much, They would just sit there, pee, and then go.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that should happen. Just some polygraphs, like, intermittently. Not just like...
It seems like they would have figured it out by now. I don't know why. It's almost like...
We're getting, off-season drug testing as well. So, like, they can call me up anytime. Yeah. They can call me up anytime and be like, Jose, we need to make you go pee right now. I'm like, all right. So, like, you're on probation or something. Go pee.
Dude, you guys are all
So professional
natural.
sports
There's no
needs to
room for-
just go follow the... Almost, it sounds like they need to follow the professional... bodybuilding and physique and all that stuff.
The natural
the Olympic things, yeah.
That's what we follow, the WADA testing. It's the Olympic drug testing. So.
WADA was that?
World's Anti-Doping Agency.
There you go. All
Nice.
right.
Off a whim right there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what makes me think that it's like intentional. Shit, we have 39 seconds.
Well, cool, man. Well, I mean, went by faster than we thought. Definitely want to thank you.
Jose Francisco Espinoza. See, I'm telling you, man, that's a badass name. Make me want to be a bodybuilder, buddy.
Thanks, bro. I
What shout outs
appreciate
do you
it.
have right now? Just shout out what you need, your team. You want to.
I want to shout out to my coach, Tyler Mayer, Team TNT, one of the best coaches in the world. Love that dude. Shout out to my own team, Team Meta. I have a lot of guys coming up right now, a lot of girls as well. And thank you guys
Absolutely,
for
man.
everything.
Cheers.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great
Cheers.
show.
Thank you very much.
Boom. That's it.
All right.